When I mentioned I was going to receive the xTool M2 Colorcraft for a review, this is all the comments I received. Everything was about the printer. And just to be clear, this is a print and cut experience that xTool is creating with this machine, which means there is a laser and an inkjet printer. Now, their claim is that they want to provide a seamless print and cut experience, and I have created a lot of projects to put that to the test. If you're new here, hi, my name is Sarah from Ruffles and Rain Boots. Now, if this is your first review of mine, know that I am going to show you a lot of stuff. So buckle up, because I am not somebody who is going to do 3 projects and tell you it's the best thing ever. It's just not my style. If you're going to spend your money, or if you're going to spend your money and click on my affiliate link, I'm going to make sure that you have a really, really good idea of what a machine can do. So let's talk about this machine. You have the option to combine a 10 or 20 watt diode laser. That's a blue light laser. It's great for organic materials, pre-made items from wood that you want to cut or engrave, including slate, wood, leather, felt, all of it. Now, this has an optional 3-watt laser. Now, what the 3-watt infrared laser is for inorganic materials. So let's say you want to engrave black acrylic, or you want to mark metals. That is an optional add-on. And then we also have the add-on for the Rotary. Now, I have a tumbler that I did here, but you can do clay pots, you can do baseballs, you can do rings, you can do all the stuff over there I have lined up to do. This goes inside the machine, and you do not need an additional riser. This is the entire machine. Now, I want to talk about exhaust, because I often am asked a lot about inline fans, purifiers, or venting out a window. If you can vent out a window, you have 2 options. You can just stick this hose right out of a window, or you can attach what is called an inline fan. Today, I'm going to be venting this into an air purifier. Below my desk, I have the AP2. This is a robust purifier from xTool. I am going to be placing a small stack of aluminum foil into the bed of this laser. The reason I'm using the aluminum foil is because I want to keep the bed nice. And that is only because xTool has sent me this machine for you to see. And all of the tutorials I have done so far and will be doing in the future, I just want it to look nice for you. That's the only reason. You will see me using this. This is the triangular prism holder. I call it a ladder. Okay. I put material on this to elevate it from the bed so that I can fit the foil underneath. You do not have to do that. You can actually laser right on the bed. Now, when you are using anything where you're cutting through, I do recommend to elevate that. And the unit comes with 4 material standoffs. You can fit some aluminum foil under those safely and cut them. I also believe that if you're like me and you just like your machines to stay pretty, aluminum foil and anything that can raise that material up is a good idea. If you have more questions about that, leave a comment below. Now, what makes this unique, aside from the fact that you have swappable modules, is that we now have 2 placement cameras. In the center of the lid, we have what is called the world view camera, and that'll take an entire photo of the bed. We also have a camera on the gantry, which means you can move the camera directly over something to get perfect placement. And I will show you project after project, and even a couple challenges I did for myself where I tested that to the T. We also have a 3rd camera in this unit. It is a flame detection camera. xTool brand focuses on safety. You cannot remove the base plate and operate it. Now, I do not yet have the 3-watt IR, and as soon as I do, you can be assured that I will show you how that works as well. So today what we're going to do is we're going to focus on cutting, of course, engraving, of course, printing, of course, and then the print and cut experience. If you're new to this craft, that was a lot of information, but I'm going to put a link down below that will give you all of the specs, the width, the height, how much room you have to do things. You don't have to consume it all right here. In fact, if you're getting a little overwhelmed or want to come back to this, go ahead and hit subscribe and turn on the notifications. You'll get this whenever I publish anything. If you're on Facebook, I have a free Facebook group. I'll put that link down below. And if you're not on Facebook, I provide a free newsletter. I only send it at most once a week, and it has all kinds of tutorials, freebies, discounts, etc. We're about to crack our knuckles and get into the detail. However, if you are new to the xTool family or you are considering the xTool family, I may use some terms you're not familiar with. Here's a quick summary.
The first thing is xTool Studio. This is the free design software that will also control your laser. Now, there's a lot built into this, so be sure to subscribe because I share tutorials. The next is Atom. Atom is the online sort of repository for projects, print and cut and engrave and all sorts of stuff. You can find projects and load them immediately into the software. It makes it seamless. The next is AI Make, which you can access from Atom or directly inside the Studio software. This is the generative AI edition that xTool has allowed us to use. Now, you don't have to use this, however, it's available. The last two are called elements and generators. Elements are clip art and vectors and designs you can use right inside of Studio for personal and commercial. And then inside of Studio and on Atom, you'll find generators. These are usually algorithm-based builders. Now, for example, you can come out to Atom, go to the box builder and build yourself a box by saying, hey, girl, I would like a 4x6 box. So I'm going to start with this little generator. I'm going to type in, after I choose a style, my measurements. And then I'm going to say, hey, I don't like this pattern, or hey, I want this rounded, or hey, I don't need something. And then you just hit the import to Studio, and that will open it up right in your software. And you can still adjust it and make pretty things like this box.
And now it's Pretty Project Palette Cleanser time. I'm going to show you non-print projects first, then I'm going to show you print and cut projects.
So I first started with some easy pre-made items. The first is always going to be a bamboo cutting board from the dollar store. And the reason is because these can actually make money. All right, this is a tutorial that you can do. This is the back. I want to show you how well that auto air assist works. Here's the front. You can do this on the day one. Another day one project you can do is a keychain. I also made some, these are car vent air fresheners, and this is because with my M1 Ultra, these are some of the first projects I made. You can see I haven't cleaned any of this up. This is exactly how the machine exported it. So I also put in some pre-made items that already had shape to them and was able to align them perfectly with designs. You can see these are from Michaels and they're rough, but they came out great. I worked on some basswood, painted basswood, and then I added some laser foil because yes, you can use that with a diode. Next up, I went to heat transfer vinyl. Now, this is not your mama's Cricut. This is laser safe heat transfer vinyl. And I have to dial in my settings better because it kind of melded back together when it cooled. Paper projects are a love-hate for me because I haven't dialed in the white color yet, but all other colors were great. Cork is my happy place. Look how beautiful these engravings came out, and it took 30 seconds or so. And slate is another one. You can see this came out so good. All of these projects are in natural light because my studio lights tend to pare them down a bit. Felt flowers, I absolutely spent days doing this. I never want to do it again. If you need these patterns, I'll give you the links from Etsy. They're gorgeous, but quite more manual work than I wanted, but the laser did great. So I also worked with very thick felt to see if I could make my eyeglass holders and iPad holders, and it worked out well. Now, this is a straight out of the machine project, as is this one, no sanding or anything. And you can see that both of them have acrylic added onto them, dark, opaque acrylic. Now, here is a transparent yellow and black. These both came with the laser, and I want to show you up close. The edges on the transparent yellow are crusty. This is, in my opinion, not really a great acrylic project. That is very hard to the touch. Now, the black, however, came out so great because it is a diode. But I want you to listen to this, and you'll see what I mean. So when you put it down and you scrape it, it is very rough on your hands, and it also produces dust. That is not a great acrylic project.
Although I have examples of using acrylic, I will say this is not your laser if you want to work primarily with acrylic. There is no hack to cut clear acrylic with this laser or mirror acrylic cutting with this laser. You can engrave those items, but it will never cut. There is no hack. If you want to be unlimited with your use of acrylics, this is not your laser. You are looking for the xTool P series lasers.
So now I'm going to show you printing. I tried in the beginning with paper, and I will tell you I learned a lot. Brights are great at 60%, and some colors are even better than at 100% because you get some kind of muddling. Pastels needed higher concentration. Easy to see here. Now, on the skin tones, light skin tones were great at 60%, but those medium and dark skin tones actually required 80% to look full and deep enough to pass. On my gradients, 80, 90, 100%, those really came out and popped, which I'll show you a little bit later, but those gradients were much better at the higher. Now, I had my first goal to match CMYK colors to glitter and rhinestones, so that is what this is. That black is a true black, and in the corner I left it open so you can see that is a beautiful gold match, as well as the pink glitter down here did great. So I moved on to some muted tones. Now, I will say I'm noting what primer I used because we're going to talk about primers in a second, but very light hues, including light beiges, light blues, came out really well. Now, I had one hiccup, and that's what happens when you use pre-launch software. I had a printer stop. Well, the next day I was working with another laser and product, and I just said, you know what, I'm going to try and use those cameras. I'm going to try and put this back into the machine and see if I can't line it up. So I masked it in the software poorly and then ran it again. You get a nice little view of the automated capping there. And then I decided, well, what would happen if I ran this twice? What would happen? It did make it a little bit more vibrant, and that took all of just under 6 minutes to do. Aside from this big line where I messed up my masking, this aligned perfectly. I can't explain to you. I was in awe. I thought I had a failed project. I recovered. So I also did photo on canvases because I figured that was what was requested of me with the M1 Ultra, and it did really well. I chose this picture. This is not my child or my dog, but I chose this because the blues in both of their eyes, I wanted to see if they would muddle or pop. The white of the dog and of the little girl's dress came out really, really well. Now, basswood plywood, we have untreated, we have Inkade, and then we have Mod Podge, because a lot of people think Mod Podge will work as a primer, and it will for some graphics. However, honestly, it looks a little plasticky on wood. Let me just zoom in over here to the right too. You can see Mod Podge on the right and the Inkade on the left. The picture is much clearer with that Inkade. xTool has a spray primer I will add to my next order, but this is what I had on hand to test. Now, this is one of my favorite projects. I printed a clear acrylic keychain, primed with the Inkade, flipped it over, aligned it perfectly, and then I messed it up with some matte spray primer. I did buy some resin that's not here yet. I also messed up this project, and I learned that you can actually remove it with water and a paper towel. I have no idea why my camera moved, but I messed this up when I painted over it with white, so you'll see that in a future video as well. Now, I did untreated fabric inkjet printer sheets that you iron on, so I made these little pastel stickers using the xTool Studios elements, and they came out so great. That's not supposed to be black, by the way. Those are so beautiful. They are such a light, soft pastel. I did have a question from Mariella about making her own tissue paper packaging for her business. So 10%, Mariella, and it comes out very, very vibrant. Took all of like 20 seconds as well. Beautiful. Now, here's a mess up, and I believe in sharing them just as I believe in sharing the wins. This is photo glossy paper. Not a lot of char on the right, but a lot of char on the left. So I need to dial in some settings with everything that is white, including some stickers that I failed at as well. Now, the stickers did great. They printed great, and they cut through great, except even on a score, I had quite a bit of soot, and you could see it. On my kiss cuts, I had a great test, and then I had 3 stickers that one came out, 2 didn't kiss cut all the way. This is my favorite project. You can see this is printed on primed PU leather and heat pressed. That's the final product. I love this and love how it came out.
This is the xTool Rotary. There is a cord that will attach and run right along the inside to this external port. Everything stays nice and tidy. You just pop this into the machine, add on the flip laser accessories, and then everything operates within this box. There's no separate riser you need to do even 40-watt tumblers. You do have to remove the handle for the 40-watt tumbler, and I'll be showing tumbler projects, rotary projects, baseballs, rings, all in a separate video. Now, one thing I will say about the rotary is that it does have quite a few parts, and I'm not just talking about the chuck extras to hold different items. There are a couple of parts that are extra to the xTool M2. So I would say one of your first projects should be to build a box to hold all those little pieces. I'll probably build a box and record it for you, so follow along for that. Now, I want you to follow along because even though I did a ton of projects, I didn't get to everything I wanted to do. Maker Leatherette is one of my favorite projects to do. I'm going to do that. We're going to do laser ready MDF, not that stuff you buy from the home improvement store. Acacia wood. We're going to do more woods. I have a lot of work that I do with walnut. Again, I did some projects, but I'd like to keep working with it. Chipboard, a lot of crafters use that, a lot of journal makers. More acrylics, which I'll get to. Craft plastic, which is a thin acrylic, sort of flexible. And then flex, which is a very flexible, gives you a lot of options with regards to clear, semi-transparent, transparent, and patterns. I love this stuff. And of course, I'm literally going to print on everything that is mostly flat.
So now I'm going to show you a little bit about the cleaning. You just untwist the hose clamp, pull it off, and then undo these 4 screws. There is a panel in the front. You can kind of see it through the middle of the fan blades. You can clean this here, or you can come around to the front. The machine is off. The machine is unplugged. You can come here and just pop this off. Now it's loose, right? Because you've already removed the screws. It and the back side could be dirty, so you just wipe that with a clean cloth. And then you can access the fan here. I clean all this stuff up. I'm waving through the fan. Sorry about that. I'm a bit of a dork. Anyway, you can unplug this unit. I find most of the time I don't even need to do that. I'll just clean it on the unit itself. Lens wipes are going to be your best friend. So I'm going to use that on the gantry camera and on the world view camera in the center, as well as the fire safety camera off to the right. Once I have that, though, I'm now going to save that lens cleaner because I need to remove this air and lens cover. So we're just going to take 2 screws. They're magnetic in case you have problems with small things. Don't worry. Take the 2 out, pop this up, and then you have access to both cleaning out the cover and wiping down the lens cover. So again, just a quick wipe. You will very rarely need to remove that unless your lens itself is damaged. Now this, I do use a foam swab. I don't use any cotton swabs in my lasers anymore just so I don't deposit any fiber, but these are really great. I get them on Amazon, or you can get them at a auto shop or an electronic shop. So then you just pop this down straight back, and then you add the 2 screws back in the back. And that's it for a thorough cleaning when you wipe out the inside of the bed and everything. If you need to clean the actual module, you take these 2 screws off and then pull the cover off. Don't worry, xTool already has all of these videos available for replacing anything and for actually cleaning. So don't get worried. It took me about 10 minutes to do a full cleaning. Diodes are really easy to clean. So inside here, this is how you put it back in, and we're all ready to burn something else.
I want to talk about a couple of things that I think could be improved. Extra dongles and the power and the rotary all plug in right. And why that's important to note is that the switch to turn it on and off is here as well. It is possible or plausible that you could knock into one of these dongles. I think very plausible somebody is going to go to turn it on and knock one of these. I have never had a nemesis before, so I'm kind of new to this, but I think I could take the material standoffs in a cage match. They are flimsier than I would like my material standoffs to be. I do like how high they elevate so that you can put the foil underneath if you want to keep your bed looking nice. However, they're not my favorite thing ever, and they really don't work with flexible materials. So I believe that the material standoffs either need to have many more provided with the unit than just the 4, or there needs to be this. Warped wood is something we have to deal with all the time in laser crafting. And so if we aren't going to get a larger number of those standoffs, we're going to think of something else to use. I will continue to look for additional items to use in the bed that fit and clear all of the modules. But right now, that's really my biggest problem with what came with the machine. Now, the final thing that I didn't realize was going to be a concern is the height restriction. You have just over 1 inch. And by just over, I mean 1.02, not 1.2, 1.02. So we're talking 26 millimeters. And that is pretty small. It's an inch. And so I do want to make sure that you understand this can engrave or cut something that is maximum from the base plate 1 inch tall. Now, let's talk about my favorite things. And one of my favorite things is being able to see the ink from the printer cartridge go down real. Now, I haven't made it all the way through. I'll put in the edit here, I will put in what my current ink, level is as of the day I'm recording this. But I am so impressed. I thought I had used a ton of ink based on that vibrant project and the sheer number of things that I've done. I was so impressed that it was only where it was. Number 2, you can control the automatic air assist right in the software. Now, beginners, you'll leave it on automatic. It's already set up for you. But as you start working with some materials, you'll see that a little adjustment with regard to that air can make a big difference. You have the power to make that adjustment. And I love that for us. Another thing, it's quick. When it is printing, it is fast. This full color summer took less than 3 minutes. The little acrylic keychains, 30 seconds. Very detailed photographs, 3 minutes. We're not talking massive amounts of time for the printing either. Ink is proprietary. You can't go to the office supply store and pick up this cartridge. You will have to get it from xTool. However, I did check, and the expiration for the entire thing is a year. So it's not like you can't have an extra one when you see those ink levels getting low. Go ahead and put it on order and have it for when you need it. Now, I am going to miss pinpoint positioning because I think it's going to go the way of the dinosaur. However, I loved it. I never messed up with it. So when I say that I put these cameras to the test, I did really, really was impressed with how well I was able to get perfect placement. I lined up clear acrylic prints just to see if I could, thinking that they would fail, and they didn't. So, very, very impressive set of cameras that I have been able to use. There is an auto mode as well, which makes it even easier for beginners to get started. It is a feature that will automatically take a picture of the world view of the bed and will automatically go in and just set everything up for you to take the measurement and get it all ready for you to actually push go. I thought that that was a really nice addition.
Okay, so a quick last minute addition as I'm editing this is we are going to get printer support like they have for the apparel printer when it comes to text. So here is a sneak peek at some of the awesome freebies we are going to get with the M2.
Who do I think this machine is for? If you have never worked with a laser, this is a great start. The software. The software will have you creating quicker than most other laser software out there, if not every software out there. If you are someone who wants to do this craft but don't have a lot of space, this is the whole thing. Okay. Now, there is a vent in the back. You probably need an additional 3.5 to 4 inches to make sure you get a nice rounded bend in that. You don't want a 90-degree bend for your exhaust. This is about 24 inches wide. So, if you have that amount of space, this is good for you to start. This is also perfect for somebody who is moving from a frustrating experience with lasers. I'm not going to name names, but let's say you want a full catalog of material settings. Let's say you want a full catalog of project ideas that you can just open in the software. If you want that beginner experience to go smoothly, this is a great entry. If you make professionally ranked stickers, no, you have to use an eco-friendly sticker paper, which does not allow for waterproof or vinyl like the hollow effect. These will be pretty basic stickers. So this is not going to be that. You will still need a blade cutter for that particular project because you cannot put anything polyvinyl chloride, which is PVC, or anything made with chlorine in the process into a laser of any kind. So there is laser safe sticker paper, eco-friendly sticker paper, and there is laser safe vinyl. However, those things are not combined into sticker paper yet. So right now, if you are making professional stickers, this is not going to be that unit for you. Now, I did get asked a lot if this is a business level laser. I don't know what that means because I use all hobby lasers for my businesses. But if you are asking me if this can do high production, no, it's a 10-watt laser. However, if you want to use this for your business, yes, you can. I will put together a business ideas unit or business ideas video with this unit in particular because I had a whole list that I started while I was working on stuff with this. Down below, I'm going to put an affiliate link. Now, an affiliate link means that if you click it and make a purchase, I could receive a commission. However, you can go and investigate this and read all about it without making a purchase. Because I am recording this prior to launch, I don't know the price yet. But if I know xTool, and I do, it's going to be very aggressively priced between the first 5 and 10 days. So be sure to check this out on the day of their launch, which is May 27th. I hope this gave you a good idea of what this machine can do. Be sure to subscribe as this won't be my only video. I am somebody who always shares tutorials, who always answers questions. It is not my job to sell you a laser. It is my job to show you what it can do. And I hope I did that. But if you want to see something specific, let me know down in the comments below. If I have it on hand, I will put it in the machine and make a video for it. Thank you so much for being here with me today. If you found it helpful, please like the video and subscribe for more crafting fun.